The FA Challenge Cup, everyone wants to win.
Crazy gang have beaten the Culture Club.
Gerrard! Oh, yes! The story of the FA Cup continues.
What a goal! Right for the scorer.
This is the moment of joy that all professional footballers hope for.
A moment to tread for the first time. Crystal Palace are winners.
It's an all-Premier League clash in this FA Cup third-round tie as Spurs host high-flying Aston Villa. Unai Emery's team are third in the Premier League and they've already won here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season.
Had to go, brilliant! Morgan Rogers with a banger!
Villa also knocked Spurs out of last season's FA Cup at the fourth-round stage.
Jacob Ramsey has given Villa that 1 minute into the tie.
Both these teams have a proud cup history. Villa have lifted the famous old trophy 7 times, but not since 1957.
Johnny Dixon comes to receive the trophy, the 7th Aston Villa captain to receive it.
Spurs have 8 wins to their name, the last of which came in 1991.
It's in! It went in off a Forest player, and Spurs are in the lead.
Home comforts have been in short supply for Spurs this season. They won just 4 league games here in the whole of 2025. It's been a tough start for Thomas Frank since he replaced Ange Postecoglou in the summer. A storm in a teacup didn't help matters this week ahead of a last-minute defeat at Bournemouth.
Drives it low! Oh! Antoine Semenyo!
So, a win today would really help lift the mood for Spurs fans. It is a cold, crisp night under the lights in North London. Kick-off is 15 minutes away. And we have 2 FA Cup winners in the studio. Micah Richards and Danny Murphy are here. We will hear from them very shortly. First, though, here is the team news, and both sides make changes for this FA Cup tie. 5 of them from Spurs from the midweek defeat by Bournemouth. Kevin Danso is in for the usual captain, Christian Romero. He was given an extra 1-match ban yesterday for his reaction to being sent off against Liverpool last month. Ben Davies, Archie Gray, Wilson Odobert and Richarlison all start. Dominic Solanke and Destiny Udogie are fit, but only fit enough for the bench. For Aston Villa, it's an FA Cup debut for goalkeeper Marco Bizot. He deputises for the injured Emi Martinez. Pau Torres is back in the heart of Villa's defence after a month out. Yuri Tielemans and Ollie Watkins are rested. Emi Buendia and Daniel Marlin come in. Let's hear from both managers. They're with Kelly Summers.
Unai, Aston Villa have made brilliant progress since you joined the club, but is a trophy like the FA Cup the one thing you'd really like now?
Good evening. Yes, of course, but it's very difficult. We achieved last year the semi-final and we enjoyed it the way, and we enjoyed it in London with our supporters. The supporters, they want something like that, something special, one day special.
Well, Thomas, it's been a difficult week on and probably off the pitch as well, but what sort of response have you seen from your players in training ahead of this one?
I've seen a group of players that want to put a good performance out today. And do everything we can to progress to the next round against a good Villa side.
Given the form that your side are currently in and the inconsistency of Spurs of late as well, what sort of opportunity is there here for you tonight?
Very difficult. For them as well, it's a very important match, and they have a very good coach, they have very good history, very good stadium, very good players, and of course how we are going to compete is a motivation for us and it's a test.
You've been looking and struggling for consistency in the league. How important could a cup run be as well for the Spurs fans to really buy into what you're doing here?
I think a cup run would be fantastic to buy into what we all are doing here. I think cup run, everyone would love to do that. We need to put a very good performance out today. Players are very aware of that, and yeah, I'm convinced we'll put a good performance out.
Well, Spurs are celebrating the 125th anniversary of their very first FA Cup win in 1901. The players are going to wear a commemorative kit We also have the original trophy with us in the studio. Not only are Spurs the only non-league side to win the FA Cup, they were the first team to put ribbons on it. These aren't the original ribbons, but it was a player's wife who put ribbons on the trophy for the first time when they won it in 1901.
Don't touch it.
Two trophies, Alan's not won.
That's good.
Both managers have talked about how important this competition is to them, but they've both made quite a few changes for this game. Who do you think it's more important for, Danny?
I think it's a huge evening for Thomas Frank. He's got to get these supporters back on track. There's a section of them who don't think he's the right man. They haven't been playing particularly well. I think his problem is the fans don't see an identity yet. Are they a pressing team? Are they a counter-attack team? He's mixing it up, to be fair to him. I think he's experimenting because he's new at the club, seeing what players can do the job. I don't think they should be thinking of getting rid of him, but some of these fans do. So today is massive for Thomas Frank.
He's got to figure it out, though.
Yeah, I agree.
He's new coming into the job, and it's difficult, especially with creative players out as well. But I would have to agree with the fans in terms of if you're not going to play well and have a style of play, you want to look like you're working hard and giving everything, and sometimes the players don't look like they're giving that out on the pitch at the moment.
Sergio Romero is not going to play today. However, he's been quite vocal in the past few days on social media, and he's talked about, other people coming out to speak, but they don't, as has been happening for several years now. They only show up when things are going well to tell a few lies. He then edited the post to remove that last comment. What do you think as a player, and particularly the fact that Pedro Porro replies to it saying, we've got battles to come, we've got more battles to come. What do you think that tells you about the kind of mood in the dressing room?
It might be a reflection of the dressing room, the stuff that goes on in the dressing room that doesn't go out there. However, I don't think it does anyone any favours in terms of the fans are questioning the team, and then now you look into the board and the players. And what that does is put more pressure on him to perform. Yes, he's a leader of this group, one of the better players, but I just think it puts more pressure on the whole squad.
And as we've said, there's a lot of unhappiness about the way that Tottenham are playing. What do you think is their biggest problem, Danny?
How long you got? I think the main thing is creativity. Look, their midfielders aren't brave enough. You need more risk in the middle of the park to try and get those forwards through and in behind. This killer pass stat is damning for those midfield boys, and it's something midfielders should be priding themselves on. They are missing Maddison, who's brilliant at that, and Kulusevski, but Morgan Rogers there, he's got more through balls, killer passes than the whole Tottenham team all season.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Like you said, they're still finding their feet, aren't they? I think if Kulusevski was in the team and Maddison, they're the players that can open up the doors, but it's just not been good enough.
They brought Simons in to do that. And
he's more of a dribbler, though, in terms of passing the ball through the lines, and it's just not the balance is just not there at the moment.
What about Aston Villa? Because they are riding the crest of a wave, and I know it was a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace last time out, but apart from that, in the time that Unai Emery has been in charge, they've gone from strength to strength.
Outstanding. I think the way he coaches his teams and the way they can be versatile in what they need, and in-game substitutions are brilliant. But I just want to look at the points he's accumulated since he's been in charge. 122 games. There's only Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City above them. It shows you how well and how effective he's been as a coach. I absolutely love him.
He's won 11 major trophies himself as a manager. Is that the next piece of the jigsaw in his Villa project?
Absolutely, and I think he's more than capable. What he does is he coaches individuals to get better, but in a collective as well. He's done a remarkable job, and I certainly wouldn't put it past him winning silverware this year.
If he stays at Aston Villa for a long period of time, we're talking another 2-3 years, he will win a trophy. 100%, because tactically he's so away, so astute, he's just a brilliant manager.
And also, I imagine that the Tottenham fans have a comparison to make in that Unai Emery made a difference almost straight away, and he came in with a very definite style of play, which is what they've been asking for.
I think you're right, and that's the problem when you've got clubs that are doing well in a similar status. That's why you get the criticism. Thomas Frank needs to get some players back, because at the moment it's not just the tactics that are poor. You're talking about the individuals not being up to the level as well. It's going to be a fascinating game.
And we always talk about two sets of players and who wants it more, Mike. And sometimes that is a cliche, but they are players with very different mindsets, very different experiences of this season coming into this game.
Yeah, but I think the Spurs players have got something to prove, give the fans something to shout about. And what a better way to do it against Aston Villa in FA Cup. We've seen a couple of results earlier in FA Cup. the magic of the cup, and what a way to put it right today.
You want to give us a prediction?
Nope, I don't do
but
predictions
are you going
anymore.
to give us a prediction?
Yes, I will do if you want to.
Go on.
I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1 extra time.
Daddy?
I'm going 2-1 Villa.
All right, let's see how this one pans out. It's an FA Cup third-round tie between Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa. And with you for this one, Alan Shearer and Steve Wilson.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly, and good afternoon, everybody. This stadium has not been a particularly happy place this season. Thomas Frank's desperate for an uplift. He spent his week answering almost as many questions about a paper cup as he has the FA Cup. A journey from instant coffee to his captain's Instagram. If Frank is under the cosh, the only pressure on Unai Emery is being applied by himself. He has long since proved himself to be one of the best coaches in Europe. Here's the Tottenham starting lineup, 5 changes. Normal keeper Vicario Danso is in for the suspended Romero. Gray returns alongside João Palhinha. It's Xavi Simons, Wilson Odobert and Mathys Tel behind Richarlison, who leads the line significantly. And good news for Tottenham is that Udogie and Solanke both return to the matchday squad for the first time in a long time. 6 changes for Villa. Emiliano Martinez injured his calf on Wednesday at Palace. Marco Bizot starts. Pau Torres is back from injury. That's a big plus. Martson gets the nod over Luca Dean at left back. They're kind of interchangeable. Bogard plays alongside the excellent Camara in the holding positions. McGinn, Rogers and Buendia look good behind Doniel Marlin, who gets a start with Ollie Watkins given a break. Well, the one thing we won't have here is an upset. There's already been a few of them in this FA Cup third round weekend, hasn't there? These commemorative jerseys from 1901, as Kelly was saying, the year that Tottenham, as a Southern League club, won the famous old trophy for the very first time. Well, I think given the great work that Thomas Frank did at Brentford, Tottenham fans hoped for more in the first half season, and he would have hoped for more in the first half season too. The pressure really all on him. Unai Emery. Easy to forget that Villa didn't score a goal in their first 4 games of the season, but they've been excellent ever since. Craig Pawson is our referee today, assisted by Lee Betts and Matthew Wilkes. Michael Salisbury's the 4th. Worth saying there is no VAR in the third round of the FA Cup. And it is important that we pause now to remember 2 great footballers who passed away this week, both of them with their place in the history books of Tottenham Hotspur. Martin Chivers became the most expensive player in English football when he joined Spurs from Southampton in 1968, winning 3 major trophies in the early 70s. Terry Yorath had already won a league title and played in a European Cup final with the terrific Leeds side of the early 70s before joining Spurs in 79. He played alongside Hoddle, Ardiles, Ricky Villa. As a manager, he was within a penalty kick of leading Wales to the World Cup finals of 1994. And our thoughts are with their family and friends today, including, of course, our own dear Gabby.
Please join us for a minute's applause for Martin and Terry that will start again on the referee's whistle.
Well, 2 great players, fondly remembered Alan Shearer alongside. We're looking forward to this one, Alan. Villa have been terrific pretty much all season, and Tottenham haven't.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. The FA Cup started this weekend. Last night, loads of goals, and again this afternoon. So let's hope for something similar here.
The trumpeter blares out when the Spurs go marching in, and it will be Tottenham kicking from right to left in the first 45 minutes. Great atmosphere inside the stadium, and Craig Pawson is ready, and off we go. Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa, neither has lifted this trophy really for far too long. 91, Tottenham's last FA Cup win. 1957, Villa's.
The guys in the studio talked about a bit of negativity around this Tottenham Hotspur team and the atmosphere. Well, there isn't at the minute, and they've got to try as much as they can and get off to a great start and try and keep this atmosphere going.
Morgan Rogers with an early ball into Donyell Marlin here for Aston Villa. Buendia is on the edge of the penalty area. Marlin got a little bit hemmed in, and Ben Davies works it back to goalkeeper Vicario. You often expect in the FA Cup the second choice keeper to be given a run out, but I think it's an insight into Thomas Frank's thinking about this game and the importance of the game for him and for them that it is Vicario in goal.
Yeah, you can imagine what a cup run would do for this football club. As you said, it's been so long. It's really, really important to try and do the very, very best they can in this competition.
He's managed them on 30 occasions so far, winning 11. They have a free kick here for that little push on Xavi Simons. Van de Ven with the forward ball, unable to find Matthijs Tel.
Talk about Tottenham Hotspur, though, but on the other hand, you've got Aston Villa, who are flying high, full of confidence, and they know if they can put this team under any pressure straight away, then they'll feel it.
Matty Cash with the throw-in, very seldom misses a game, but maybe importantly, he did miss that heavy defeat over the way at Arsenal because of suspension. He's been caught here by Xavi Simons.
Clumsy, wasn't it?
He's okay. Delighted to say that we do have Darren Cann alongside us on the gantry today. If anything needs unpicking, then he's the man to do it. We'll speak to him later if needs be. Here's Boubacar Kamara for Aston Villa. Terrific season he's had. He's taken out by João Palhinha. He's been terrific, Kamara. Really like him.
Yeah, wonderful player. Great protection, great energy in that midfield. Free transfer from Marseille, what, 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it? Back in 2022. The serious injury.
Yeah, over 120 games now for Villa. He's become more and more important to them. But this is a painful early blow. João Palhinha caught him. João Palhinha is no stranger to a yellow card. He didn't get one there, but he certainly made his presence felt. Just out of interest, Alan, if you are Ollie Watkins and you're on a good goal-scoring run, which he is, do you want to break in the FA Cup third round, or do you just want to play and try and score another one?
Are you really asking me that question?
I think I know the answer. But
I know what I'd want to do. I'd want to play in every game, particularly as he had such a tough start goal-scoring wise to the season, but absolutely flying now. You'd want to play every game, but you understand that Europe, all of those things, and they're going really, really well.
And this is really bad news for Villa, because Camara is going to have to be replaced in these early moments of the game, and Yuri Tielemans is going to be coming on for him.
I thought Paulinho was extremely lucky, you know, to get away with it without getting a yellow card on this occasion. I think because it's so early on in the game, that's what he's got away with, and not getting a yellow card there. It's a naughty tackle, that, for me.
Well, as he continues to get treatment, Yuri Tielemans is getting ready to come on. So Darren Cann, who has a FA Cup final, Champions League final, World Cup final on his CV. Welcome to the team, Darren.
Thank you, Steve.
Palhinha's challenge on Boubacar Kamara.
Yeah, I think Alan's called it right. For me, if it's after 20-25 minutes, then it may well be a caution. I think Craig Pawson wants to try and let the game breathe. There's been a couple of strong challenges, another one on Matty Cash earlier in the game, that could also have resulted in a yellow card. So it's sort of 1-1, and yeah, we'll just see how the game progresses. Sometimes you don't want to give an early yellow card because you end up with a whole hatful of cards. So he's given the game a chance to breathe, and hopefully it'll pan out well.
Well, Kamara, I don't think it's in doubt that Tielemans is going to be coming on. Tielemans is stripping off on this near side. I just think they want to make sure that Kamara is okay to hobble off before they make him move, and João Palhinha gives him a little consolatory pat on the hip, which is no consolation at all. So Kamara off already. And Yuri Tielemans will be coming on to play alongside Lamar Bogard, but they're going to be just down to 10 for a moment. That looks painful.
Yeah. Just as we were saying, how really, really important he's been for this Villa team, and he's had his bad luck with injuries. We hope that he's okay.
Bizot. Daniel Marlin into a decent position, and John McGinn. This is Konsa. Still a man light at the moment, Villa, as they wait to get Tielemans on. Pau Torres, very good news for Unai Emery that he's fit, as Martsen tries to go outside of Odobet. And now they can make the change.
So much for his evening off then.
Yes. A player with his own FA Cup history, of course. Here's Pau Torres to Ezri Konsa. Martsen's little ball was intended for Daniel Marlin, has gone out of play off the foot of Pedro Porro. Richarlison's header. Good little burst of pace. Wanted the free kick. Adalbert is almost always lively. Torres looking for Marlon, well won in the air by Danso. John McGinn can pick a pass and does, and finds Daniel Marlon. Buendia is to his right. Marlon's done well here, got the shot away. He's often made a case to Unai Emery that he should play down the middle.
Yeah, Villa are brilliant at this. Once they win that ball back, as they do very impressively, that first ball that went up there, then they win it back and they break on you so quick there with McGinn with the pass there into Marlon. One of the best in the Premier League at doing that, Aston Villa.
No foul on Richarlison. Here's McGinn. Rodgers. Buendia. This is dangerous. There are lots of bodies forward here for Aston Villa. Martson. Lamar Bogard. Now Cash. Conser for Aston Villa. There's a big white blanket between them and Vicario at the moment.
Just trying to draw them out, aren't they?
And here is Buendia just in behind. His cross flicks off Archie Gray. And the first corner of the game is a Villa corner. Is going to take this. Villa have 6 lurking around the penalty area. Buendia's on the near post, trying to make a nuisance of himself. Good delivery that was. Richarlison got something on it, back in by McGinn, and that's Vicario who tries to get them moving, delivers it early. Matty's Tell with a bit of green grass ahead of him, also Xavi Simons ahead of him. Just got caught in a couple of minds there.
Yeah, he needed options, that's what he needed. I said about how impressive Aston Villa were in getting forward quickly. Tottenham not so then.
Tell couldn't get it through Ezri Konsa. Tielemans, it's a good foot in from Ben Davies. Odobert will hit it.
Better in the tackle though, Ben Davies, not allowing anyone to settle on the ball. No harm in doing that. You have to do that.
Bogard's given it away. Ben Davies has scored a very rare goal the other week. Xavi Simons to João Palhinha. Pedro Porro's attempted cross blocked by Buendia. So to Van de Ven. Gray going long, Tell. Not easy to control that. Did well, Cash.
Really good defending. No way he was getting past him there, Matty Cash.
Oh, that's beautifully played into Buendia, and then from Buendia to Rodgers. Van de Ven for Tottenham, though. And he's done well. Gray's ball in, clearing Xavi Simons, brought down by Matthijs Tel. There's a shot on for Tell, he didn't take it. And then Pedro Porro couldn't control. Danso keeps Spurs on the front foot. Archie Gray. Ben Davies. And Martin leaves it for Bizot.
It was the only option he had there, really, wasn't it, Ben Davies, to try and find Richarlison. No one else was in there trying to support him.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure when they sent Buendia out to Bayer Leverkusen on loan last season that he had a future at Villa. But he's got himself fit, played some matches in the Bundesliga, and he's been very handy for them.
Absolutely. Most definitely, yeah. Brings something different to their team, doesn't he?
Got that late winning goal against Arsenal at Villa Park as well, you'll remember.
Fascinating stat the boys were on about in the studio beforehand about Tottenham only attempting 11 through balls forwards all season, which when you think about it is absolutely remarkable. They've got to get themselves into better positions forward, and also you're looking at forwards making those runs.
That's collectively, that's Tottenham as a whole. There are individuals who have better stats than that in that particular regard. Here is Xavi Simons.
It's in these positions here where you're looking for those killer passes.
Gray, Davies did pretty well with that, actually.
Better, much better. Good pass, good run.
He's such a versatile player, Archie Gray.
It's what they need more of, though. When you're making those runs, those passes have to find you. Those key passes.
It's Cash with his throw. Pinged by Pedro Porro, dealt with by Pau Torres. Nice touch, Buendia. Strong challenge, good one too. Ben Davies on John McGinn. Xavi Simons here for Tottenham Hotspur. Pedro Porro's volleyed cross, and Matty's Tell. Well, he took it on early. Ends up being a throw-in to Aston Villa.
Yeah, you don't mind that. Once again, though, Ben Davies with a crunch and tackle in the middle of the park to set all that up to begin with. All right, it comes in nothing, but the aggression and winning the ball back and then forcing your team into forward positions. They won't mind that, and their fans certainly won't mind it.
Martin slightly fortunate that that's gone behind for a goal kick. They might have been a bit worried 4 games into this season, those Villa supporters, when they hadn't even scored a goal, but they needn't have been concerned. They've won 18 of their last 22 games in all competitions.
Fantastic run, isn't it? Team full of belief and full of confidence.
Rodgers has done well to win that from João Palhinha. Danso was just tall enough, which was just as well. John McGinn for Bogard, McGinn. Super. Marlon's gone out wide, delivers a promising-looking ball. Van der Ven got something on it. Cash is happy to settle for a corner kick.
It was the right decision, I think, from Matty Cash to leave it and let the boys come up from the back and take the corner.
Some rather muted boos for Matty Cash. Tottenham fans remember a challenge on Rodrigo Bentancur from a couple of years ago, which put the Spurs midfielder out of action for a little while. Begin with the corner. Vicario firmly staying put. It's Martson who tried to side-foot it goalwards. And the whistle has gone. It's a free kick to Tottenham. Taken quickly. Martson had retreated quickly.
Yeah, he was alive, wasn't he? He knew exactly what was happening, Martson.
Well, 20 played, and it's fairly even Steven, really. Begin to Marlon. Marlon can play it into Buendia. Big chance, great goal. Emiliano Buendia. It's a fabulous finish, that. Hammered into the roof of the Tottenham Hotspur net. Thomas Frank's side are behind again. And it's Emiliano Buendia who scores the first goal of this cup tie. And all the pressure's on Tottenham now.
What a brilliant goal that is. So clever the way they work it. You can't give them that much time in midfield to take your time, take a touch and pass. Otherwise, that's exactly what happens. That pass there, then another one from McGinn, then another one from Marlon. The timing of all of those three passes, and then the finish. Absolutely sensational. 1v1v. The keeper hits it high, past Vicario, no chance. Great finish.
Spurs 0, Villa 1. Emiliano Buendia, who's been recalled in the last few weeks to the Argentina setup after almost 4 years out of it. That's how well he's been playing of late, and that's a lovely finish.
Keeper had no chance. Picked his spot. Perfection it was.
And here's Bogard.
But you can't give good players that time on the ball. There were three passes from Tielemans to McGinn to Marlon, and then the finish. You have to get tighter and closer. You can't give that amount of time in the midfield. I said how very, very good Villa are at doing that to you, at punishing you. That's exactly what they've done.
Tielemans for the forward ball. These are important minutes for Tottenham because Villa are asking all the questions suddenly, and Donyell Marlon wins a corner kick. Well, the home fans at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium have had so little to shout about this season. Certainly in domestic football, they've won only 2 of 10 home Premier League games. Their patience has really been tested, and here they are, 1-0 down. The goal scorer is going to take the corner. Cash in a lot of room, hits it pretty well. Not done yet, Villa. Rodgers, their tails are well and truly up. Odobert dallying, Bogard's taken it from him. Buendia, João Palhinha trying to scramble it away for Tottenham. Matty's tell here.
You just know, don't you, what the Aston Villa players are thinking now. They've got them right where they want them. They've put them under pressure. I said how important it was for them also to try and do exactly that, and you can just feel them trying to go after this Tottenham side now and get another one. And why wouldn't you?
Well, they can almost taste Tottenham's vulnerability. That last 5 minutes possession stat, massively in Villa's favour. Ben Davies here for Tottenham. They need to secure 4 or 5 minutes here.
Couldn't agree more. It's exactly what they need to do.
Archie Gray for Van de Ven. Cash with eyes on the ball. It's glanced off his head, but he was fouled by Matty's Tell, and it's a Villa free kick. It's not just the finish, is it? The build-up is terrific as well.
No, it was absolutely superb. That pass there, the way to pass, then the other one, and then this one from Marlon. To see him coming around his left shoulder, the way to pass has to be perfect, and it is. And then you're relying on a superb finish, and that's exactly what you got. They're so good at that. I said it 5 minutes ago when they passed it through them. If you're not right in the midfield and defensively, then this Aston Villa team will punish you, and they'll go after you, and they'll keep on trying to do that.
It's Pedro Porro back to Vicario.
Changed it a little bit, Tottenham, and Gray's gone into that back line there, particularly when they're on the ball, and you can see the two fullbacks pushing a lot further forward.
Appropriately enough, I guess, for this stadium in a kind of quarterback role. Archie Gray looking for the run of Richarlison. Ezri Konsa. Oh, and Richarlison's pulled his hamstring here.
From bad to worse, isn't it, for Tottenham in terms of what they're going through this season, and that's the last thing they'll need is an injury to him. It certainly looks like the hamstring.
Yeah.
Pulled up very, very quick, yeah.
Well, he is Tottenham's top goal scorer, Richarlison, so far this season. And that looks very much as though he'll be out of this game and some of what lies ahead. Including West Ham's visit here, which obviously it's not a rivalry quite like the North London rivalry, but Tottenham-West Ham is one that Tottenham fans will attach a great deal of importance to. Well, Thomas Frank imparting some instructions. So little has gone right for Thomas Frank since the autumn. Kolo Muani will be coming on. Very much as though Kevin Danso is saying, are you sure? Well, you have to feel for Richarlison. He trudges away. Randall Kolo Muani will be coming on. His only goals for Tottenham in this loan spell from Paris Saint-Germain were against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League.
Don't need when you're under pressure, your top scorer going off injured.
Well, we've played almost half an hour, and it feels like it's half an hour of football that Tottenham have seen before quite a few times this season. Danso's header. Matty's tell that attack without a focal point at the minute. Obviously a foul by Yuri Tielemans.
Great aggression though from Aston Villa, not letting Tottenham settle one bit in that midfield. He had 3 or 4 Villa players closing down there.
So Randall Kolo Muani comes on. Couldn't get in behind Martson. Ezri Konsa for Cash. All the noise is Villa noise. Semi-finalists last season, a disappointing performance and result at Wembley in that semi-final against Crystal Palace. Buendia being pressed by Pedro Porro, but Tielemans forward, a slip by Marlon. Danso, Audebert.
It's better from Tottenham though. They can't allow Aston Villa to control the game at their pace. They have to, like they did then, push on and try and put them under a little bit of pressure. Stop them from controlling the game as they are doing.
Spurs throw toward Kolo Muani. That's a push on Ezri Konsa and a free kick to Aston Villa. Well, the hierarchy are here. Vinay Venkatesham is the CEO of Tottenham Hotspur. Johan Lange, the incoming sporting director. Fabio Patrici is off to Fiorentina. They have actually done a bit of business. A deal has been agreed, though not yet quite completed, for Sousa, a 19-year-old Brazilian attacking left-back. Aren't they all attacking left-backs in Brazil? And he will be joining Tottenham in this window. Tielemans for Martin. Daniel Marlon, Rodgers and McGinn and Cash are in the middle. Marlon's done really well. Good play by Ben Davies. Needed to be.
That's the big difference there, is what Aston Villa have just done in terms of how quick they pass it out from back to the midfield up to the forwards, where with Tottenham it's very slow and laboured.
Well, it was a stretch and it's a corner to Aston Villa. You would worry about the atmosphere in the stadium if Villa extend this lead. Here's Buendia. Good cross that, Kolo Muani half away. Morgan Rodgers. 3 in the middle, Ezri Konsa. Rodgers. There's a dipper which hit Danso. Matty's tell to João Palhinha. Just about managed to keep it in Tottenham's grasp. Xavi Simons was a bit befuddled, I think, by Kolo Muani running across his sightline.
I think he was aware of what was around him and who was about to close him down.
All your FA Cup highlights today, by the way, at 10:40 and tomorrow at 10:30. BBC One and the BBC iPlayer. Results, highlights, goals, BBC Sport website and app, of course, are available now. And we're edging into the last 10 minutes of this first half, which has not gone the way Thomas Frank might have liked. Here's Reconsa.
Thomas Frank on the touchline there is urging his players to try and get further forward, to try and put some pressure on these Aston Villa players. Playing at their pace at the minute.
That was a bit short from Concert. Matisse Tell, not the greatest pass for Kolo Muani. And again, it's not only that they're a goal down, it's the fact that they really haven't troubled the opposition goalkeeper again.
And that's one of the problems there, is when that is a relatively simple pass from Tell, you're needing that little bit more quality. Where Aston Villa got their goal from the midfield, from quick, rapid passing. The opposition then can't get near you.
Doesn't help that Madison, Kulusevski and Solanke have barely played any minutes between them this season. However, Morgan Rogers. Oh, he did brilliantly. Oh, did fantastically well, Rogers. Whipped that across the face of Vicario.
Someone needs to be on the end of that. This is a brilliant ball. No need to look, just get it into that dangerous area and hope that someone's going to get on the end of it. There's no one there. Someone's missed a tap in.
Cash with a cushioned header. Oh, Tielemans into Marlon. This is promising again. Buendia. Not sure if he knew Martin was in a really promising position to his left.
That's the big difference at the minute. You watch the reaction of the Aston Villa players once they lose the ball compared to the Tottenham players when they lose the ball, and how much pressure they're being put under, Tottenham, when they have the ball. Maybe once or twice Ben Davies, I called it early on, with crunching tackles. Other than that, for 37.5 minutes, not seen enough from Tottenham.
Coaching or character?
Bit of both. Obviously they're under pressure, you can tell that. They're very timid at the minute, but when they haven't got the ball, I'm not seeing enough energy to close down.
Daniel Marlon, that's going to be a Villa corner, and really ever since Emiliano Buendia fired Villa in front, it's felt like the next goal in the game would be another for Villa rather than an equaliser for Tottenham.
Yeah, they're controlling the game, Aston Villa. They're playing at their pace. They really are, not under any pressure whatsoever at the minute. And as I said, you just watch the reaction of both teams. Who wants it more? Who wants to close down more? There's only one team in it at the minute, and that's that team there, Aston Villa.
Familiar figure of the set-piece coach, Austin McPhee. Cash with the corner. Anto's defensive header collected by Martson. Bizot. It's deflected off Kolo Muani. Luckily for Villa, it was to Lamar Bogard. João Palhinha, though. Odobert, it's hit Pau Torres, who's made an error, and Tottenham have a corner kick. It's their first.
Look at Aston Villa, what they're doing. They've left three players forward.
Yeah, and Spurs have had to bring three back because there are three Aston Villa players Buendia, McGinn and Marlon on the halfway line, which rather clears the congestion of the penalty area. Did that at Crystal Palace in the week as well. In goes the corner for Tottenham Hotspur. Danso looking to attack it. It's looping. It was half a chance. Didn't quite get over it, Kevin Danso. Everyone appeals, of course, and the decision is that it's a Tottenham throw. Simon's playing a bit of keep ball at the moment. Possession not really equaling progression until Xavi Simons gets on his bike and makes a good run, and Colin Moani's offside. He's put the ball in the net, but it's not going to count.
Yeah, that's much better from Xavi Simons, though, the way he travelled and carried the ball for his team some 25 or 30 yards forward, and not been too many times, if at all, that a Tottenham player has done that, and he is without doubt offside. It's a good call from the assistant referee, gets that one spot on. He's a good yard or two offside.
It's quite a nice finish from Kolo Muani. Well, it's a very nice little clip finish from Kolo Muani. Spurs fans haven't really seen enough of that from him. It's lifted the crowd a bit, though. Here's Yuri Tielemans for Aston Villa, read by Van de Ven. João Palhinha, cut out by Lamar Bogart. João Palhinha is immediately surrounded by three. Bogart fouled him, I think.
Yeah, that's okay, though. He's just trying to get on the ball and trying to get Tottenham into forward positions.
Always muttering to himself, Unai Emery. So Pedro Porro is going to take this free kick for Tottenham Hotspur. They could really do with something before half-time here. Mattis Tell has turned McGinn. Try and turn him again. And has. That's a good ball too, and Danso arriving.
Just in the last minute or two, haven't you? You've seen something that we've not seen from Tottenham the whole game, really. Players getting on the ball and showing a bit of confidence and belief. Starting to run it. That Villa back line. At least it's something.
Kevin Danso is yet to score for Tottenham Hotspur. But when he's been called upon, actually, the Austrian, he's always done a pretty sturdy job. I don't think he's their first choice centre-half, but he's a very reliable figure. Xavi Simons here. Home fans wanted a free kick. Yuri Tielemans has turned João Palhinha. McGinn always uses the ball so well. And again, he's bumped over by Mattis Tell. Quickly taken that.
Good play from McGinn in the midfield, using his body really, really well. Shielding the ball, protecting the ball, saying, if you want to win the ball, you're going to have to foul me first.
Reminds me of another Scottish number 7, John McGinn, the way he shields the ball.
Some act to follow that, by the way, isn't it? Dalglish, yes. I suppose you're on about.
Yes. So a minimum of 5 added. We had those 2 injuries early on in the game. Camera for Villa, Richarlison for Tottenham. Torres. Cash into Rodgers, there's plenty in the middle here. That's a really clever ball back into McGinn, and Donyell Marlin trying to pick his way through, and McGinn with a little curler off his left, which Vicario clutches gratefully.
I thought he was going to try and hit it with his right, you know, because that option was on. He chose to come back inside onto his left foot and try and curl it past Vicario instead of having a whack with the right.
Possession wasted by Danso, and a few groans around the stadium. Martin Tielemans. Rodgers, little run, the cushioned header. Mattis Tell has given it straight to Bogard. That might be a problem for Tottenham. Buendia works it to Donyell Marlin. Buendia again, and Rodgers, and 2-0. Crisp, concise, and clinical. Tottenham 0. Aston Villa 2, and things go from bad to worse for Tottenham Hotspur and for Thomas Frank.
Well, the movement and the energy and the pace that Aston Villa are playing with at the minute is just too much for Tottenham. That's how you get into goal-scoring positions. That's how you put the ball in the back of the net. That's how you win the ball back, as they did. Just watch the belief and the confidence that's running through this Aston Villa team, the way they move it, the way the runners off each other. And then you're looking again for a very, very calm finish, and that's exactly what you get from a fantastic player who's having a great season. And that little touch there from Buendia into his path, there's still a lot to do, but the way he guides it into the corner, Rodgers, keeper no chance.
Just might have taken a flick off a Tottenham shin on its way past Vicario, but it's another high-class Aston Villa goal. It's a free kick to Aston Villa, and the reaction to Craig Pawson's half-time whistle, I think, is inevitable.
You've just seen there another great example of what this Villa team is all about, how they win the ball back, and then with the players, the exciting players that they've got in forward positions, how they can punish you.
Well, my guess is they're probably heading for a half-time cup of tea rather than the White Hart Lane or Seven Sisters tube station, but it's a bad week for Tottenham Hotspur, and it's not getting any better. It's Rodgers trying to find Marlon, picked off by Gray. It's going to be a Tottenham throw-in as it came off John McGinn. Craig Pawson puts the whistle to his lips, and there is the reaction. A miserable 45 minutes for followers of Tottenham Hotspur. Two beautifully created Aston Villa goals. The first tucked away by Emiliano Buendia, the second by Morgan Rodgers. It's miserable reading for the home side. Half-time. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Aston Villa 2.
Thank you, Steve. We'll be back with Stephen Allen for the second half of this game, but Aston Villa leading Spurs by 2-0. And Alan Shearer said it in commentary, Danny, that this was a game in which Villa were just too fast and too good for Spurs in their own area.
Pleasure to watch. Sometimes you just have to admire a team playing with such confidence, knowing each other's games, the speed of pass, speed of thought, making Tottenham look very ordinary, and the first goal was a brilliant indication of that. I mean, they do look like a team full of confidence, but so well coached. The first goal that we're going to see it's an Unai Emery goal. It's a Villa formation. This is what they work on. This is what they try and do. It's just a brilliant goal, and to get the second for them gives them a hell of a foundation now for
it's just the confidence that they're playing with, isn't it? I mean, the system, we talked about tactics with Emery, he just absolutely nails it every time. He knows what Spurs' weaknesses are, and he's targeted that. He knows exactly what to do, and you're going to show it in that first goal. But the cohesion between the players, knowing exactly what to do, it's just brilliant to watch. What a team they are.
All right, we'll take the hint. Let's see the first goal. Why is it such an Emery goal?
Well, what you'll see is here, the two holding midfield players, Tielemans and Bogard, being marked by Gray and Paulini. And what Buendia does, he comes off that left-hand side and McGinn comes off that right side. So it becomes a 4-2-2. And then you've got Marlon and Rodgers playing in between the centre-half and the full-backs. And what happens then when the ball comes through, you'll see the problems it causes Tottenham. Now, of course, they could do things better, but the speed of the passing there is what we're talking about, how quickly it gets into McGinn. And then Buendia's in a centre-forward position, who's come off that left-hand side. Brilliant finish and a great touch from Marlon, who's been terrific, by the way. But every time you watch Villa play, irrelevant of whether it's Rodgers on the left, Buendia as a 10, McGinn as a 10, whoever it is, that is what they're looking to do, to create that little box in the middle of midfield, and then the two forwards try and get in behind and get the goal. It works so often. They actually did it brilliantly against Arsenal recently at home, again, for one of the goals, and something they do on the training ground all the time.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. But I want to talk about it from a defensive perspective, especially from a midfield. So if I'm playing in this back four here for Spurs, what you want is that protection in the middle of the pitch. Paulini and Gray, I don't understand why they go in. Villa play narrow. That's what they've come to do. Show them wide. That's too easy. And then Porro's coming over and Dancer. They're in the wrong positions. And I don't understand where you know Villa are so good down the centre. This is what they're trying to do. Show you the wings for the full-backs. And they're played into their hands. All you need to do. You've played in midfield, Dan.
Yep.
And when you're playing against a good side, the best thing you can do is just sit in front and you all go together. You can't leave the big gaps in essential areas like that.
I completely agree, but the problem is when you're playing at home and you've got expectant crowd and you're playing in central midfield and you keep seeing your central midfield player going to get it and turning. Sometimes you lose your concentration, you think, I'm going to go.
Yeah, but
they're caught in between thinking, should I, shouldn't I? And the minute they went like that, bam, good players kill you.
But that's the difference, isn't it? If you're going to go and you're feeling that way and Villa are controlling the game, then you go together. Yeah. You can't make decisions for yourself that cost you one little... We're talking about fractions in football, you know, them little details.
But isn't that the lack of leadership we're talking about?
Well, that's what we talked about at the start of the show. But in terms of Spurs were doing all right. Villa had all the ball, but defensively, and then them decisions are just costing them. And when you get in there, is anyone going to be aggressive? Anyone going to put in a tackle? It was just... It wasn't good 45.
Even then, at 1-0, Spurs still have a chance in the second half. 2-0 is going to make it a lot harder. Morgan Rogers is on fantastic form generally at the moment, and he's got a really good record against Spurs as well.
Well, he's playing the best football of his career, and he's got this wonderful balance of super technical ability and physical strength. He's a fabulous footballer. The great thing here is where you see Buendia coming in off that left, again causing problems. And the touch from Buendia into Rogers, the way he's playing, you never think he's going to miss. He's so two-footed, he's comfortable on both. But that position, again, outnumbering him centrally. And Tottenham know Villa play like this. This ain't a surprise. This ain't a new system. It should have been more prep.
Yeah, you can talk about the, how well crafted that goal was, but the defending. When you actually look at it, Spurs had 4 at the back and 4 in midfield. If someone was aggressive or took ownership of that situation, they wouldn't have conceded that goal.
I'm just trying to see the positives.
Well, I mean, you should do, but when I see defending like that,
Not a ray of sunshine, is Danny.
Yeah, but I've been in that situation. You know when your confidence is very low. So what you do, you just keep the team in front of you. Don't take risks. Take risks together. And now, 2-0 down, the confidence is going to be drained from them. They've got to come out and give a big performance in the second half, and it was just... It's not good enough.
And the thing is that the period just before that second Villa goal, Spurs actually had some of their better chances in the first half.
Yeah, because they're committing more men forward. And they did some good things, don't get me wrong. They're trying to do the right things at times in terms of their forward play. It's little fractions. When you... What is he, half a yard maybe? I think they're the little things that don't go for you. Simon's driving forward, nice and positive. That's what you want from him. You could argue he doesn't need to be offside. I mean, it's tight. And they're the things especially when things aren't going your way, to go against. It's a super little finish with the right outside of his right foot. And then there was the one from Danso.
Yeah, I mean, chances. You get down this width, and then it's just one of those. It's a half chance, isn't it?
It's not even half chance.
Yeah. But they did well. They got numbers in the box. That's the most important thing.
It shows you how much they're struggling when we're showing that for a chance. Doesn't it?
Well, it was more to show the fact that what is working for them when they do it is getting forward and getting numbers forward, because you've both said they've not had their head up enough. They've not been looking for that forward pass. But if they do, then they can get the ball into dangerous areas.
Tottenham have quality players who can cause any team problems and difficulties. They've got pace, they've got some decent players. The problem they've got now, especially after that first half, is the confidence levels are low. Who's going to be the one that takes the risks and risks the moans and the groans of the crowd when you give it away? And also, if you commit too early in the half and go gung-ho against this Villa side, you could be 3 or 4. And then all of a sudden, this place could empty and the manager's under pressure.
Couple of early challenges in the game that maybe could have seen a yellow card given, but we heard from Darren Cann, who's giving us refereeing advice through the course of the game, saying that they're the kind of challenges that we're not going to give a yellow card for early in the game. Thoughts, Micah?
Yeah, I understand from his point of view. I think you want to let the game breathe a little bit, but I actually think it was a yellow card early on in the game, but I understand what he means. You see that just on Xavi Simons there, but it's a yellow card on Cash.
I agree with Darren. I think all referees do this, and I think it's the best way to do it, because if otherwise you could have 5-6 players on yellow cards, and the majority of our career refs did the same thing. I don't think this is individual today. That is normally a yellow card, granted, I accept that, but the reason we're bringing it up and talking about it is because he went off injured. If he hadn't gone off injured because he's got a dead leg or whatever it is, or twisted him, I hope he's okay, but we wouldn't be bringing it up. I think you want refs to try and let the game breathe and let it early on.
You do, but yellow card's a yellow card.
Depending on... Well, I think what Darren was saying is not whether he thinks it's the right thing, but it's what referees do in practice.
Correct.
In terms of the decisions that they make. Time now for some backstabbing and banishments. And I don't mean Chelsea or Manchester United.
Welcome to the Traitor's Castle. Twists, turns and treachery are back.
It doesn't really get better than this.
There it is.
There's highlights of every FA Cup tie tonight in Match of the Day. That's on BBC One at 10:40. More live football tomorrow. Liverpool take on London City Lionesses in the WSL. That's on iPlayer at 2:15. And the Masters Snooker begins tomorrow. BBC Two and iPlayer at 1 p.m.
We are all massively influenced by our past. And the story is exceptional.
To make it all the way, the odds back then in rural Egypt, 0.
Liverpool have completed the signing of
the setbacks that he's faced could all have gone so differently.
It's been a sad World Cup for him.
And yet he managed to make it.
Coming from Egypt, it's a lot of pressure.
He'll forever be trying to prove people wrong. He's shown over and over again that he doesn't give up.
What a weekend it's been in the FA Cup, but there is no doubt about the headline act.
Now Duffy puts it in, and that doesn't look a bad ball. It's a great ball! It's a wonderful goal! Captain Dawson hits the Silkman in front. That was perfect for the non-league team. Just perfect. Buckley-Ricketts. There's Mellor who goes down. Richards challenging. Buckley-Ricketts comes out of the pot with the ball. Palace just can't get it away. Buckley-Ricketts didn't get it off. Oh, he did! Yes, he did! He's touched it past Benitez! And it's 2 for Macclesfield! Now we're really in the realms of FA Cup fantasy. I don't think I'm taking a big leap here by saying this has to go in. And he's done it! He's called in a beauty.
Yeah, he had to get it up and over that wall. It's a quite brilliant free kick from Pino.
Headed away from Uche. It's a missed kick, but now Dawson will have the last kick. And how fitting is that? Macclesfield of National League North have knocked out Premier League Crystal Palace, the FA Cup holders. It is the biggest shock that the world's greatest cup competition has ever seen.
And at the end of it all, Paul, you have captained a side and scored in what is the greatest FA Cup shock ever. When you look at the places between you and Crystal Palace, no side from the 6th tier has knocked out a top flight side. You've knocked out the holders. It is the greatest FA Cup shock ever.
It's an immense achievement, to be honest. I'm proud of the boys, proud of everyone, proud of the fans. You can see what it means to all the fans behind us. It's a really community club, and yeah, no, really proud.
Captain in a bloodied headband being carried aloft by the fans at the end of an FA Cup upset. It must be January, it must be FA Cup third round weekend. In terms of league positions, that's the biggest ever upset in FA Cup history. 117 places between those two sides. Elsewhere, Sunderland goalkeeper Robin Roofs saved all 3 penalties in the shootout. Sunderland knocked out Everton in that game. Wolves striker Jurgen Strand-Larsen ended his 13-game scoring drought, so a confidence booster for him. He got a hat-trick against League Two Shrewsbury and a confidence booster for the whole team, a 6-1 victory for them against Shrewsbury. Manchester City, 10-1 winners against Exeter. 10 different scorers, including their debutant Antoine Semenyo. One of those goals as they inflicted Exeter's heaviest ever defeat. Newcastle edged out Bournemouth in a sudden death shootout at St James's Park. Aaron Ramsdale, their hero, he saved 3 penalties in that. There was a 90+5 equaliser for Newcastle, a 120+2 equaliser for Bournemouth in extra time. And Birmingham, Bristol City and Grimsby all lead at half-time in the other late kickoffs. Let's get a word now with Alan Shearer on the gantry about this game that we're watching between Tottenham and Aston Villa, and it's yet more injuries to Tottenham's attackers, with Richarlison injured now, Alan.
Yeah, unfortunately, when things are going against you, then it hurts you, and that's what's happened to Tottenham today. But having said that, there's two teams out there. There's one full of belief and confidence and with the right attitude and really, really good players. And there's another team that looks really bereft of any ideas and struggling and no energy, no belief. And the worry they've got now is that it could get messy here if Aston Villa really turn it on in this second half. They really, really need a goal straight away to try and give them some belief, because even the players and even the fans in the stadium, there just isn't any at this moment in time.
And Alan, from your position on the gantry, you could hear the boos at the half-time whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a happy place at this moment in time. I mean, there was a 2 or 3 minute spell in that first half where Xavi Simons had the ball and running forward and getting into a good position. But other than that, there's not much else, and that's why you're hearing the boos at half-time.
Alan, back with you in just a few seconds. Danny, before we head back to our commentary team, what can Tottenham do now, given that they are missing all this attacking talent, plus Richarlison out now as well for them? What can they do in this second half?
They can fight, they can run. They can show every bit of effort and commitment to get those fans back on board.
And here they are, Alan Shearer and Steve Wilson.
Thank you, Kelly. No substitutions from either side. Obviously, both sides had an enforced change in the first period. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 2. You feel that there simply must be some sign of improvement from Tottenham in this second half. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very awkward evening again for Thomas Frank and Tottenham. But Aston Villa are so capable and so sharp around the penalty area that they are one of the teams you really wouldn't want to be playing in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a case of the Emery in the dressing room saying, more of the same, please. Go out, keep passing, show the same attitude, play with that same energy and confidence that you've got. Whereas for Tottenham, everything must improve.
Flick from Buendia, and he's absolutely full of them. Van de Ven with a clearance which is collected by Lamar Bogart for Cash here. Morgan Rogers. And John McGinn. Kevin Danso's header. Xavi Simons almost ended up incubating the ball there, but he's got a free kick. What constitutes improvement, Alan, in the second half?
Well, a bit of everything. Getting into forward positions, asking different questions of Aston Villa, getting players on the ball. We saw Xavi Simons once in that first half, and other than that, a couple of tackles from Ben Davies, as I said, but there has to be an improvement all over the park. There's no doubt about it. The control of the game, the energy that they showed, getting into forward positions and creating chances. That's how they've got to get back into this game. It's not easy, I know that. Football's an easy game when you're full of confidence and you're winning games and you're scoring goals. Everyone wants to get on the ball. But you find out about your characters and your attitudes when it's going against you, when the crowd are booing, and who's going to want to get and step onto the ball and say, give me the ball, let me do something and change the game.
Unai Emery, a little late for the second half, but quite a lot earlier than quite a lot of Tottenham fans. Some of whom may not reappear at all. I think the ball was rolling, so we'll have to do that again.
That's too easy as well. From a goal kick, straight up, no one challenging. Can't allow that to happen. The ball travel that far. You'd be able to control it as a Villa player, just like that.
Yuri Tielemans here for Aston Villa. Marlon and Rogers both onside. Kevin Danso's there. Ben Davies for Tell. Kept the ball in play pretty well. Simons dispossessed though. Audebert. Pedro Porro. Conser doesn't miss a lot. Rogers ball into Marlon. Vicario. Oh, it's gone straight to Buendia, who has not hit that as cleanly as he might have liked.
See what he was trying to do. The idea was right.
It was like a Marcus Labuschagne long hop, except no one got out to it. João Palhinha. Audebert blocked by Tielemans. João Palhinha. And that's heading straight out of play. And is greeted with a kind of muted despair from those Tottenham fans behind the goal.
You can just hear it and feel it within the stadium now, can't you? Every misplaced pass is getting that same reaction.
I mean, the bar has been set quite low by Tottenham over the last few seasons, but at the moment they look an even further diminished group.
You know, Tottenham Hotspur have got injury problems, but when you still look at their forward line of four, Tell, Simons, Muani and Audebert, in terms of transfer fees that have been paid, one's on loan, but you're talking over £200 million there for four players. I'm not seeing a lot from them at all, anywhere near enough.
Here's Pedro Porro. Buendia got a foot in. They simply have to score the next goal in the game. I mean, it almost doesn't matter if they lose the game, obviously it does, but if they could just show something in the second half, some spirit, some invention, some attacking nous, and make a game of it. Ben Davies, Audebert, Simons. That's a good ball from Matis Tell. João Palhinha, Pedro Porro. Martin closed him down and made the block. Rogers and Simons. Well, it's a decent save by Bizot. It's something.
Even the reaction of the crowd, Steve, tells you something.
Corner's been played to Pedro Porro. Return to Matis Tell. Kept in play at the back post. Davies!
Tough chance that one. Didn't fall easy for him. Paulinho did well at that far post, but high ball to take.
It's a save you'd expect the keeper to make, but it's a shot on target. Ben Davies scored in Tottenham's last home game, a draw with Sunderland here. Goals don't come thick and fast for the long-serving Tottenham left-back. He almost had 2 in 2 there.
It's only been about 30 seconds of energy and the keeper saving it, but already you can feel a little bit of a difference, and that's what these Spurs fans are craving.
Kolo Muani won it fairly from Lamar Bogart. 4 in this Tottenham attack. Audebert, 2-1. Exactly what Tottenham needed. Wilson Odobed's goal early in the second half has changed the mood. They're back in the cup tie. Barely a flicker from Thomas Frank. But it's 2-1.
Yeah, well done. You could feel it straight away, couldn't you? There's no way that's a foul. Did really well in closing down Moani. Then the pass, and can you find it? And then you're looking for the finish, because that's a good touch. A great finish. They're back in it. Amazing what a goal can do, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Matty Cash was playing him on. Here come Tottenham again. It's Xavi Simons. Tottenham Hotspur's best 60 seconds for quite a long time.
Exactly what they needed in this second half. Bit of energy, bit of fight. Now you should see a difference in confidence with players wanting to get on the ball.
Porro, Odobed, good run, well found. And options, just missed by Xavi Simons. Tell, two in front of him, Cash made the block. Still Matty's Tell, driven in. Gray was lunging. Bizot hammers it away downfield, and Danso had to win that. Had to win it.
Did. Got a game on our hands now.
We certainly have. Where's this Tottenham been? Odobed's ball in. Bizot at his near post. Well, you can't get a more cliche than goals change games. But my goodness me.
Well, Thomas Frank at half-time, I'm sure, has insisted they lift the energy up and give these fans something to shout about, and that's exactly what they've done.
Here's Yuri Tielemans for Aston Villa. Who were really thoroughly enjoying themselves until 3 or 4 minutes ago.
And they were playing at their pace, doing what they wanted to do and controlling it. Not anymore.
Buendia was caught after he played that pass by Archie Gray. The referee, Craig Pawson's going to get the card out here for the Tottenham man.
You can have any complaints about that one. He's late. But, and it's a big but, at least they're trying to attempt and put tackles in. It's what these fans have wanted. It's what they were booing at half-time for, because they didn't see enough of that. The aggression, the energy.
That is the transformative moment of this half.
Good finish, isn't it? Really clever finish into the corner.
Here's Daniel Marlin. Just rolled away from McGinn. Gray, Simons moving it quickly. Much better for coming forward, Odobed.
Clever play again, win the ball, first thought, forward pass. At least they're forcing the goalkeeper into making saves.
Oh, Villa have been given a free kick here for a foul by Kevin Danso. Great noise. Martin over the top looking for Marlon. approaching the hour mark now. João Palhinha, Pedro Porro's made a good forward run. Kolo Muani's in the middle. Konsa was under a bit of pressure, so is Bizot. Big old right haymaker found Buendia.
See, that wasn't happening in the first half. Them getting tight and those putting in those tackles to stop Villa playing, that wasn't happening. It's all of a sudden it is now. Different team.
Simons to Pedro Porro. And he's got outside of Emiliano Buendia. But then couldn't find Gray. Just lost his bearings. No foul, he thought so. The momentum has shifted utterly.
Look at the pressing now, look at them putting Aston Villa under pressure. Villa were doing that in the first half, not Tottenham. It's the other way around now.
Might have been a foul on McGinn, there is. But do you know what, Alan? Sometimes there's just at half-time or somewhere in a game, there's something where someone's whole season can change. It changed for Leeds the other week, and change of formation, change of fortune. Suddenly, you know, Farke was under all kinds of pressure. Suddenly, they can't put a foot wrong. It actually happened for Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League last season against Manchester City. If Spurs can turn this around, it's a big if, but if they can turn it around off the back of a half-time Thomas Frank team talk, it could be one of those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a completely different team now, isn't it? You're seeing a team play with confidence, want to get on the ball, different attitudes.
Mind you, McGinn's done well. And he finds Emiliano Buendia and Marlon looking for room for the shot, which took a flick up into the arms of Vicario.
But you said it, at least show something, show a little bit of fight, a little bit of courage. And that's what they did coming out at half-time.
Free kick has been given. Spurs might have preferred to carry on here. João Palhinha off the mark. Morgan Rogers. Van de Ven, they'd love to see him carry it forward, but instead he's found Matthijs Tel. Simons onto the chest of Cash. It's a Tottenham throw. Villa are going to make a couple of changes in a minute. Jadon Sancho and Ollie Watkins are going to be coming on. Just past the hour mark, and it could be a tricky 30-odd minutes for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Did not look like that was likely at half-time.
We know where this throw's going.
Yeah. Danso's arms are like pistons. Van de Ven with the flick on. It's a corner.
So difficult to defend those long throws when they're coming in at that height and that pace.
So Matthijs Tel is going to march over and take this corner kick. Again, Villa have left those three up around the halfway line, which means that Tottenham have to bring three back. It's Danso at the back post.
Just didn't get the flight of the ball, did he, Danso? See what they were trying to do, and he worked himself into a free position at that far post.
So Watkins and Sancho, and John McGinn is going to be replaced by Jadon Sancho, and Daniel Marlon by Ollie Watkins. Konsa takes the armband. Well, Watkins has been in really good shape of late. Half a dozen goals since the start of December. Sancho on as well. Well won. Good play by João Palhinha. Tell moving it quickly to Xavi Simons. Those two are so much livelier in this second half. And he's got through Lamar Bogard and he finds Matthijs Tell. It's a good turn. And it ricochets for Ben Davies and it's blocked by Ezri Konsa.
Much better. So much more energy, isn't there, about Tottenham? And that.
Here's Xavi Simons. Craig Paulson's given a free kick to Aston Villa here. This is what it's for.
Little clip, was it? But that's been the big difference, that there from Paulinho. I know Watkins a bit naughty as well, but that's the difference with this Tottenham team now. Closing down, tackling, everything. It's a completely different team. And the fans have reacted superbly to that.
Yes, they have. They weren't asking for much, just a bit of intent, a bit of desire, a bit of threat. And they've picked up that baton, the Tottenham fans here, and they're running with it right behind their team. Here's Morgan Rogers. And they'll enjoy that tackle as well by João Palhinha. Yellow card. Emiliano Buendia.
No complaints, great tackle, Paulinho. He dragged great back. Yep, simple yellow card for the referee.
And Davies. That's a good ball. Odobet wriggling through. Trying to muscle his way through his Kolo Muani. Cash is there to clear away. But suddenly Aston Villa are hanging on to a slender lead.
Just wouldn't fall for Odobert, would it? It was a great ball, and I think it was from Davis from that left-back position. Just wouldn't fall for him. He couldn't get it under control, Odobert.
And suddenly that three of Odobert, Tell and Simons looked terrific. Is that a foul? It is. Rodgers is not happy here.
Can see why.
João Palhinha actually jointly holds the record for the player with the most yellow cards in a single Premier League season. Somewhere in the low teens, I think, when he was a Fulham player. I think Robbie Savage is on that list as well, which will astonish nobody.
Just thinking who else is on that list. Villa free kick. The initiative has been well and truly taken away from them.
Can they wrestle it back? That's not a bad ball in, actually. Pau Torres, I think, saw it late. It was a funny kind of height. Simon's little dummy, Tell. Japalinia.
Really good forward play that was from Tell, protecting the ball, looking after the ball, bringing a teammate into play.
Clipped on by Danso, Martson. Bogard has run into trouble here, and that's come off Pau Torres mid-drift, and behind for another Tottenham corner off Japalinia.
Yeah, really good play again and winning the ball back as a team, putting Villa under pressure, and then first thought having a pop at goal. Another corner for them, more pressure.
He's scored 5 times already this season, Japalinia. No one's picked up Xavi Simons. The corner is played to him. Tell's ball into the danger area. Bizot again. Well won, Japalinia, benefiting from Pedro Porro's endeavour. Decent ball as well. It's a free kick to Villa. Just a word about Japalinia. I mean, he's just kind of dragged everybody by the lapels around him, hasn't he? I think he's been terrific second half.
I think they all have, Steve. I think they've all come out with a different mindset, a different attitude. Obviously things have been said in the dressing room by that man there, and rightly so. He was under huge pressure. You could hear the moans and groans, and they had to come out and give this crowd something. And they're absolutely giving it in this half. Spurs fans will be saying about time too, but there's been a huge difference, hasn't there? A huge shift in play.
They might reluctantly take losing, Tottenham fans, but they won't take losing limply. And Tottenham have at least given them that in this second half. Here's Buendia. That's nicely worked. It's Cash. And that's a lovely ball. Buendia brilliantly off the line. That could be absolutely crucial. Pedro Porro off the line. And Pedro Porro to lash it away from danger again.
Just about to say, how important could that stop on the line be?
Rodgers allowed to advance. He'll hit this, dipping. Well clutched actually by Vicario.
It was good goalkeeping. He had to keep hold of that because he was under pressure. There were Villa players running in to hopefully see him spill it, but there was none of that.
Tell getting it through to Kolo Muani. The flag is up. And let's just bring in Darren Cann, our assistant referee extraordinaire, as we just see that Pedro Porro clearance off the line. Darren's arm went into the air before Lee Betts flagged it, as Kolo Muani was caught offside there. Old habits, Darren.
Yes, old habits die hard, but another correct decision from Lee Betts, the #1 assistant on this match.
Great clearance by Pedro Porro.
Fantastic. It could be so important depending what happens in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so.
Buendia. Japalinia. Well won by Yuri Tielemans. Rodgers for Watkins. And Morgan Rodgers again. Pedro Porro got his foot in. Villa now looking to have a spell of their own.
Just a little reminder, though, isn't it, that Villa, with the quality players that they have, you still have to be at it, even though you've completely changed the attitude.
Jadon Sancho. Martin rather forgot the ball. Tielemans, Buendia, who's been at the heart of most good things for Villa. Here's Jadon Sancho for Morgan Rogers. He's gone outside of Archie Gray. João Palhinha away. Good cup time now.
Really good backtracking as well. Van der Ven getting in there and giving no space. It's a really, really good cup tie now.
Sancho, Buendia. Well, his performance today led me to believe that he'd probably get that on target.
He's done so well, hasn't he? The goal, the assist. Most things about his game tonight have been superb.
Matis Tel can't quite find Porro. Martin's there. Sancho. Oh, Tielemans. Done so with a block. Kolo Muani. Well, Xavi Simons would have been onside, obviously, but Bizot's starting position, as they say, was good, and the ball was a bit over here.
It was good. He had to be good, otherwise he was in. Simons just clawed themselves back into the game a little bit, haven't they, Aston Villa, the last 3 or 4 minutes? Sort of slowed the pace down, trying to take a little bit of heat out of the game, in the hope that getting into those forward positions with the players that they've had, even with the substitutions, they're still a huge threat.
Yeah, obviously a reminder that should we need it, this game would go to extra time and beyond if needed. That was Dane Scarlett, the young striker, getting some instructions for Tottenham. Here's Ian Martin staying on his feet. Oh, well done, Pedro Porro. Like Oliver Twist there, got to pick a pocket or two. Tell gets beaten to it by Cash. Rogers, Matty Cash, Watkins in the middle. Goal kick. There's going to be a host of changes. Tottenham are going to put on Dane Scarlett, the 21-year-old who has made a couple of substitute appearances this season. Luca Dean and Andres Garcia will be coming on for Aston Villa. You would imagine it will be a change of both full-backs for them. And Cash is hobbling a little bit. Well, Teller's really come to life in the second half. Dane Scarlett comes on. Opportunity for him. And the two fullbacks are replaced. Ian Martin by Luca Dean. And Andres Garcia on for Matty Cash. Garcia, the Spaniard who was signed from Levante, who's had his opportunities limited by injury, but he's up to speed again, and this is his third substitute appearance of the season. .12 minutes to go, and Thomas Frank deciding to put on Dane Scarlett up front rather than Solanke, who is on the bench but obviously hasn't played actually since August. He's made 3 substitute appearances at the start of the season. That's played through to Xavi Simons, flags up. Simons puts it away very tidily, but the flag had long since been raised.
And he raised it really, really early. I think he does it and gets it absolutely spot on as well, the assistant. Really good call. Not a bad finish though, but he is offside.
I think Pedro Porro has been shown a yellow card.
I think because he was running over towards the assistant and told him what he thought. There you go.
Yeah. Pedro Porro could hardly have been more wrong.
An interesting last 10 minutes or so, isn't it?
It certainly is. Reconsa. Well, it is a free kick, but João Palhinha's second half performance, just by sheer force of will at times, has been a real lift for Tottenham. Here's Morgan Rogers. It was important that that didn't reach Ollie Watkins.
But that wasn't happening in the first half, was it, Steve? Because Aston Villa could play how they wanted and they weren't getting put under pressure on those tackles.
Simons, similarly a player transformed in the second half, wins a free kick. And the yellow card comes out. Garcia hasn't been on the pitch for very long, but already has his name noted on the back of the card. Pedro Porro, just a little bit too high for Kevin Danso. Well, he's going to be coming on now, Solanke.
Yeah.
Has not played since a substitute appearance at Manchester City on the 23rd of August. Jed Spence is going to be coming on as well. He'll provide some pace from full-back position. Short from Bizot. Danso dwelt on it but was fouled by Watkins. Well, this is going to lift the stadium as well, not only because Jed Spence provides an attacking threat from full-back, but because Tottenham fans have really missed Solanke, and with Richarlison having picked up an injury in the first half, his return to fitness is well-timed. Odobert, who got the goal which transformed this second half, is replaced, and Pedro Porro off for Jed Spence.
Great to be back. Been there myself with injuries. You've been out for a while and then you get a taste of it and you start to smell the dressing room and then you get the feel of the atmosphere again. It's great to be back.
Spurs free kick, Xavi Simons, comfortable for Bizot. Andres Garcia. Given away, Simons. Solanke's first involvement. João Palhinha, Simons bumped into Yuri Tielemans, but he's been so lively second half. Xavi Simons, Scarlett with the header. Here's an opportunity. Solanke trying to turn and wrestle away through the crowd.
It's all-out attack from Tottenham. Why not?
Just might leave them vulnerable to a counter-attack, but there's that man, João Palhinha, again. The free kick's been given against him. He's absolutely furious. He's absolutely furious. He's not the only one, by the way. Oh, Tielemans and João Palhinha. Well, he is in some pain.
Yeah.
And João Palhinha gets a yellow card.
You can see why he's upset. Turns in really well into the traffic there. It's a tough, hard crunch and tackle though, isn't it? In the modern game, I guess you're talking yellow cards. But from his point of view and from the fans' point of view, that's what's needed.
Well, he's back on his feet, Morgan Rogers, with a little under 5 minutes of normal time to go. Aston Villa with this slender lead. Bizot. Danso behind Scarlett, that's a shame. Tense now. Jadon Sancho. Andres Garcia giving him an overlap, and here he is, the Spaniard. 4 in the middle. But his route snuffed out by Van de Ven.
Yeah, no way through. I suppose what we saw from Aston Villa in the first half was a great attacking unit, different options, but we've had to see a different side to them in the second half. They've had to defend really well as well, because they've been put under huge pressure from this Tottenham team.
That's a free kick. Well, getting into crunch time here. Spurs haven't failed to reach the 4th round of the FA Cup since 2014, when they lost the North London derby at the Emirates in round 3. I haven't seen every minute of every Tottenham game this season, Alan, but I don't think I've seen them play any better than they played in the second half of this one.
Just a complete change of attitude. That's been the big difference. Commitment, effort.
The whistle has gone. Well, Villa had played it through to Ollie Watkins. Craig Pawson has blown his whistle here because Yuri Tielemans is down. He's clearly caught late. That's a naughty one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. He knows what he's doing there.
And he's got a yellow card. Darren, could he have played an advantage there?
Yes, I think so. It was unfortunate the timing of the whistle. He let it go for a second and probably should have carried on, but it's a difficult one.
It's knocked over the top by Luca Dean. Ben Davies there, back to Vicario. Kevin Danso for Tottenham Hotspur. Spence with a misplaced pass. Lamar Bogard. João Palhinha did well. Watkins is down, but play goes on. Now Xavi Simons is down, and play goes on again.
And he's trying to win the free kick, isn't he, Xavi Simons?
very tricky to give a man of the match when the game is in the balance, Alan. 90 seconds to play. We're not sure who's going to be in round 4, but...
Well, if it stays the same, it's going to have to be Buendia because of his goal, the assist. He's the one that the off the line with Tottenham. Porro saved it as well, didn't he? So he's been the difference up until now. But this game could change in the next minute or two.
And Luca Dean plays it forward, and Ollie Watkins was in an offside position. Danso forward. Kolo Muani jumping with Pau Torres. Jed Spence couldn't get in front of Buendia. João Palhinha's ball, well cut out by Luca Dean. Solanke's there. João Palhinha. Oh, free kick's been given. Foul by Solanke on Pau Torres.
Torres had to get that tackle absolutely right, you know. He had to time it to perfection there. Because he knows that if Solanke gets there before him, he's given a penalty away. It's a wonderful tackle.
Well, he feels unlucky to have had a free kick given against him, but there you go.
They'll take any free kick now, Aston Villa, to waste as much time as they can.
Well, you're... is he still prospective man of the match, or definite?
Yeah. No, I've got to give him that. He's been the difference. He's brought different bits of quality. Obviously, his goal in the first half got Villa off to a very, very good start. His finish was superb, and then the little flick around for Rodgers. And then he's been the main threat. What Villa have been able to pose in this second half with a one off the line. So, yeah, he's my man of the match.
So 3 of the 4 added minutes are still to play. One team going out in round 3, the other team progressing to round 4, but we're not exactly sure just yet which way round that will be. Unai Emery certainly not taking anything for granted. Guillermo Vicario for Ben Davies. It's an error by Davies. Sancho onto it. Every second is precious here. They've sneaked it through to Ollie Watkins. Buendia's in the middle. It's behind for a corner off João Palhinha.
Good play off Rodgers and Sancho, and closing down and not giving them the time to settle and get the ball into forward positions, Tottenham.
Thomas Frank is just hoping there may be time for one more Tottenham chance to take this to extra time. In goes that corner kick. Missed by everyone until it reaches Rodgers, and Watkins! That looked like it had a chance.
Good save. You probably saw it late, Vicario.
Header from Andres Garcia, then won by Ben Davies. Sancho.
Well, with a minute to go, you could probably hear Thomas Frank and his team talk at half-time. You get out there in that second half and you fight and scrap and show energy and show these fans what it means to play in that white shirt. And that was the ultimatum that he'd given them, and they've gone out and done that, to be fair to them, in the second half. They've done all of those things, Tottenham.
Ball is still in play, Morgan Rodgers. And now it's a Tottenham throw-in.
But what I would say is where was that in the first half? Why didn't they come out with that in the first half too, when they're under huge pressure? So it was far, far too easy for Aston Villa in that first half, and they dominated the game up until then. But it's totally changed in the second half, and it looks as if they may just hang on, Aston Villa, but they've been put under huge pressure.
Ball is at the wrong end of the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur. And it's at the wrong end of the game for Tottenham Hotspur. But they've lost possession, Villa, and here's Simons, and he finds Jed Spence, and Spence can advance. And there are 5 in the middle here for Tottenham. And Spence has lost it. Buendia trying to draw a foul. Hasn't succeeded in that and hasn't kept the ball. Archie Gray here for Tottenham. That needed to go to a white shirt for them, but Watkins was there. Good block by Van der Ven. They've still got the faintest glimmer here, Tottenham. The very faintest glimmer. Cleared away by Pau Torres, brought down by Danso.
Not for the first time cleared away by Pau Torres. They've had to stand firm.
And there's a break on here. Lamar Bogart has Morgan Rogers. Watkins is getting forward as well. Rogers through Danso and put behind by Van der Ven. But Aston Villa have booked their place in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Defeat, but certainly not disgrace for Tottenham Hotspur, whose second half performance was one of their best 45 minutes of the season. It's all kicking off behind the goal. This is an ugly end, actually, to what's been a terrific cup tie. And this is a right mess. There aren't many people who aren't involved in this. Coaching staff, substitutes, stewards. I think Morgan Rogers' celebration irked Tottenham Hotspur, who are out of the FA Cup. Not the way we wanted to end the game, but Alan, is a terrific cup tie, and Villa, for their first half performance, had established enough of a lead to get through.
Yeah, that's what's won them the game. They were absolutely magnificent in that first half in forward areas, the way they were moving the ball with pace and the energy that they had. But we had to see a different Aston Villa in the second half because of the attitude that Tottenham had changed. We had to see a Aston Villa that was defensively minded, that had to dig deep and get late tackles in, and that's exactly what they did. From a Tottenham point of view, too little too late. Yes, there was a big improvement in everything they did in the second half, but just not enough, and Villa go through.
Villa into the 4th round. Tottenham beaten again. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Aston Villa 2.
Steve and Alan, thank you very much. Boos at the final whistle for Tottenham Hotspur. An altercation just in front of the Aston Villa fans right at the final whistle. But it's Aston Villa who are through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, Micah.
Yeah, I think over the 90 minutes they fully deserved it. Even though Spurs defended really well in that second half, they still created chances. There was the team who really wanted something to happen in terms of Buendia getting in the pocket of space, and Rogers as well, Watkins coming on, stretching the defence. I just think Villa are a great team to watch now, and they can change it up tactically as well. Sancho comes on the pitch, he goes wide left, causing different problems. But over the night, I say they deserved it.
Those frustrations for Tottenham have been a long time in the making, Danny, and predate even Thomas Frank. But you could see it from the players when they were annoyed with Morgan Rogers celebrating at the final whistle in front of his own fans.
Yeah, I suppose what you could say to that, it's where's that spirit in the first minute of the game when Villa are, first half, when Villa are dominating and you're not getting any tackles in and not getting close to them. That's, you know, not really important, that stuff after. What's important is analysing Tottenham's game and saying, right, first half, massive game, under pressure, fans are disgruntled, where are you? Why were you not there? Where was it fear? Was it a bad tactical plan? Let's give Villa some credit. They were terrific first half. Now, there was fight in the second half. There was resilience. There was better football. Everything was better. But it is, you've played in a lot of games where you're 2-0 down. There's nothing to lose then. The pressure's off.
What was it like for you, though, in that situation? Because when I was at Aston Villa, I had the tendency to, I wouldn't say I hid, but I wasn't confident in myself that I could make it happen. What I saw in the Spurs team in that second half then is they've not given up. They can do it. They just need to do it for longer periods within the game.
Well, they've got really some really good technical players who did show up second half, but you can't play any more bits of games. You know, these players have to perform here in front of this crowd, which they haven't done all season, from minute one, because in the Premier League or the FA Cup, against this type of opposition, you can't climb mountains every week and concede when you're not at it. There's a little bit of hope with that second half, but the general performance was not good enough.
And a little bit of hope from the Hotspur goal, because you were both saying at half-time how difficult it would be for Tottenham to get back into this game, and yet they managed to get the goal.
Yeah, well, you said they need to be more aggressive, Danny, didn't you, in that second half, and there was.
Well, more aggressive, braver. This is nice and strong from Muani. That's what I'm talking about. Right? And then here, can you make the final pass? And when you do get into these areas, what a great finish that is. You know, that's what you want. That's players playing a bit more freedom with a bit more passion and desire to impact the game. Because when you play wider as a 10, you've got to impact the game by making assists and scoring goals. I actually thought Hotspur's second half was really bright. And some fans here had kind of not been taken to him recently. But he's only a young lad. He's got some talent. That part of the game in the second half was Tottenham's best spell, and they had a few more chances after that.
Yeah, they did have chances, Spurs, particularly in the second half, Michael.
Yeah, they were just building that momentum a little bit. I think they tried to force Villa back, and then you see here with the Poro has a shot, but on the edge of the box there, Xavi Simons, who I thought was excellent in that second half, was there to take the shot. Didn't go in, but the impotence was with them. You see them getting in little pockets of space there. Hotspur, who Danny mentioned, was really good. Yeah, it's a weak effort, but their confidence was building, wasn't it, Danny?
Yeah, and they had momentum then because the fans got with them. And when the fans are with you, you want to get on the ball more and you feel more confident. What Villa did brilliantly after weathering that little storm is slow the game down. Yeah. Keep calm, keep playing, keep passing. They've got some terrific players. And if you look at both squads in them, and there's not many of those Tottenham players you'd put in Villa's team.
And Villa did have that cushion from the two goals from Emi Buendia and Morgan Rogers. And Rogers is with Kelly Summers.
Well, Morgan, congratulations. Another goal and into the fourth round of the FA Cup. But was that a little bit nervier in the second half than you'd have liked?
Yeah, of course. We wanted to build on the first half. We were good the first half. Second half, they came out really well, but they're a good team. They're at home, they're in front of their fans, and they played really well the second half. We had to dig deep, we had to work and defend our box, and we did well, and I thought we deserved the win in the end.
It was a near-perfect first half as well, two lovely goals, and particularly your one. Talk us through it. How did you see it?
It was good build-up play, and then Emi kind of flicked it to me, it just fell to me, and I just wanted to get the shot off as quick as I could, and yeah, luckily it went in, and I was really happy.
8th goal of the season. Just how much are you enjoying your football at the moment?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I feel really good. I'm in a good bit of form. I'm feeling positive, feeling confident, but so with the team, and that's the most important thing. As a team and as a collective, we're playing really well at the moment.
Yeah, 10-point cushion over 5th, going well in the league. Do you feel like you've got unfinished business in the FA Cup, though, given what happened last year?
Yeah, of course. We were bitterly disappointed that we couldn't go the whole way last year, getting so far. And we've set out to try and do as well as we can. And yeah, this was a big test for us in the third round, and I thought we overcome it really well. We played really well and deserved it.
Well played, Morgan. Get yourself in, it's freezing.
Thank you, thank you.
He's not playing like he's freezing, and he said he's absolutely loving his football at the moment. You're loving watching him, Danny.
Yeah, well, I said at half-time he's got that wonderful balance of physical attributes and technical, but he's scoring goals as well. And when you score goals and make goals, obviously people notice you more. He drifts into all these different great positions, whether he plays off the left, whether he plays as a 10. He's just got that kind of freedom at the minute to go and roam and do what he wants to do. And he's comfortable. He's one of the few players, actually, who's really comfortable on both feet, you know, really good on both. And that's very difficult to defend in the box because he can switch it and move the ball either way. But he's got the England shirt for a reason, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think as well, just on that clip, the way he was checking his shoulders, being able to receive the ball on the half-turn and then go with pace. A lot of players can do that when they get on it and then they've not got the acceleration to get away from people. I think that is the difference between him and other number 10s.
Couple more internationals to go until the World Cup gets underway. At the moment, is the number 10 shirt Morgan Rogers, do you think? For now.
I'd play him on the left. I know Tuchel likes wingers there, but I'd play him on the left and Bellingham 10. I think if you've got Bellingham and Rodgers, they're two sources of goals. And if you look at the other options on the left, Rashford's in and out of Barca, although he's a talent. Gordon doesn't score enough. I'd have Rodgers 10, Bellingham.
What do you think he'd link up good with Harry Kane?
I think brilliant.
Because they sort of occupy the same spaces.
Who did?
Kane likes to come really deep. Morgan Rogers likes to go. Even if he's playing on right or left side, he comes in that middle space also.
I think intelligent footballers just find a way. And I always think as a front four, whoever they are, they've got to score goals, win your games. If you've got Saka, Bellingham, Rodgers and Kane, any one of them can win you the game.
And there's still a bit of time for Thomas Tuchel to make his mind up about who's going to be taken over to the USA, Mexico and Canada for the World Cup in the summer. So Morgan Rogers with the second goal for Aston Villa. The first of them went to Emi Buendia.
Yeah, I mean, Danny highlighted and was talking off air about how good he is in terms of a player who could just lend it, you know, and cute passes around the corner, always keeps the ball. Remember how good he was at Norwich. And, yeah, you wanted to talk about the spaces between what they do and draw them out.
Yeah, this is the way Villa like to create space. The two wide boys, Buendia and McGinn, tuck in ahead of the two central midfielders, and that causes a problem for the Tottenham midfield there, the big gap in between. And once it goes in here, the two forwards who have taken up great positions in between the fullbacks and centre-halves get themselves in. Great finish from Buendia. It's a brilliant finish. But the forwards position that occupied the back four allowed Spurs to play into Buendia there. There was some poor defending for the goal. We talked about it, didn't we? But Villa do that as well as anyone in the league. Through the lines, quick, sharp, and then hurt you.
Yeah, good finish as well, wasn't it? Left foot.
Great finish.
Nice finish. As we said, things boiled over a little bit. The scuffle at the end, things are starting to become a little clearer in terms of what happened. It was quite hard to see through the bodies at the time. So there's this tackle earlier on from Palhinha on Morgan Rogers. So there's a little bit of tension building between the players, and Morgan Rogers does look like he's hurt there. And then there's a confrontation between the two as Morgan Rogers celebrates, not just in front of his own fans, but I think it was sort of in the direction of Joao Palhinha.
You know what? We don't want to see people fighting, but that passion from Palhinha is what the fans definitely want. Yeah, you don't want to see him injuring players. I think it was probably a yellow card on Palhinha with the tackle, but showing that character and that energy is what Spurs have been missing.
Not after 90 minutes.
No, but he cares.
He cares. He does.
And in that second half, he put it in. We said Spurs in that first half weren't good enough. In the second half,
he was great. Second half,
there was closing down. There was brave. There was passing forward. All the things we talked about that they didn't do in the first half. But the problem is they need to do it for longer in the game. Why is it taking them 45 minutes to come into the game? I don't know if it's confidence. Some of them players may be confidence players in terms of going forward. Yeah, they've got players offensively out. But you want to see that from the start because they believe in the manager. You won't give a performance like that in the second half if you didn't believe in
it. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think they're not playing for the manager, but you can't judge a team when they're 2-0 down. Because all players can play free when they're 2-0 down. Because what happens is the team that's 2-0 up defends a bit more, plays a bit more cautious, and allows you to have the ball. So you get on the ball and you can take risks because the crowd's already gone anyway in terms of supporting you. Then if you might get a goal, all of a sudden you might be OK. But the hardest thing to do under pressure in a big stadium when your home fans are disgruntled, get on the ball, take risks, play. First half was tepid. It was fearful.
But what was the reason for that? You've played, I asked the question before.
It's a lack of belief and confidence in themselves.
But you've been a player, so sometimes you don't want to take that risk. You don't want to do the extra pass. We did the stats about them not playing through the lines, you know, defence breaking, passes and all that. At the moment, in the first half, they was playing safe, wasn't
they? They need better players, don't they?
Well, they've got players out.
And
yeah, they have. That's fair. We talked about that.
They've got about 10 first-team players out, or first-team squad members out at the moment through various reasons. A couple of them off at the Africa Cup of Nations as well. But in terms of the results that Spurs are getting, the performances they're putting in, they're worse at home than they are away, and that's not going to do anything to kind of calm the fans down. When most of the fans, the ones that are paying their money to come and watch them here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, aren't seeing any of the better results.
Yeah, one thing I will say is players do care. It might not look like that in terms of the performance. I've been in that situation where things have not been going well for me at Aston Villa, and you just won a game. Take the last game against Bournemouth. They played well in that game. OK, Semenyo scores a last-minute winner, and then it just knocks your confidence. And then you come onto the field actually thinking, can I do this? Do I believe enough in myself to play that pass, to score that goal? And that's why I give him a little bit of credit, because Dan's completely right. It's easy to play when you're 2-0 down, but then you've still got to show it as well that you can do it. So they're the positive signs I see from this Spurs side going forward.
The players were booed off at half-time and at full-time in this game. They've been unhappy for a while now. There are rumblings about the future of Thomas Frank, and there are a couple of big games coming up for them in the Premier League, where the expectation will be that Spurs should go and win against West Ham and against Burnley. But do they look difficult now, Danny?
Any game's difficult in the Premier League, any game, whether you're playing well or badly. Tottenham have the capabilities of beating both, of course. If they play like they did second half, got a hell of a chance. Can they perform in the Premier League under pressure, the start of a game? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he should be under the pressure he is, Thomas Frank. I'm with you on that. He has got injuries, and also it's not always easy with a new group of players, especially when you've got absentees, to implement your tactical plan and find a system and a way of playing that suits. Because more recently, when they were losing games, he had to try and find a way to stop losing and be more pragmatic. Maybe at the end of the season, we'll have more of a fair judgment on him when he's got some players back and we can see an identity. That today was chalk and cheese from first half to second, and that's been a bit like their season.
But just lastly on that, I think you have to get the fans on side. You know, when you talk about Spurs, they play attacking, attractive football. Yes, you might not be getting results. I think the fans want to see a plan, and Dan's completely right. They tried to shut up shop a little bit in terms of not conceding goals, but now it's just the next bit that they need to do.
Aston Villa, in the meantime, have what seems to be the perfect plan for them at the moment. They've got the right manager in place in Unai Emery. They're through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. They just need that bit of silverware to consolidate the work that he's done. He
had to do there in terms of challenging. They started poorly in the Premier League. Didn't score a goal. I think it was in the first 4 games. And then, you know, Watkins was going to come into it. You know, Rodgers was going to... Buendia, who I thought was outstanding today. But it's just the icing on the cake, you know, to get that trophy. And like I said before, if he stays there, they will definitely get a trophy. And the reason why I say that, sorry, Dan, is because they can change the tactics depending who they're playing. And that's massive. You see today, it was sort of Spurs were getting on the ball, they calmed it down a little bit, they made the right substitutes, and they've got a good squad, which helps as well.
The other thing it does, of course, as well, if you win trophies, is you can keep your better players, the ones who might be picked off, and also attract more. And they might do business in January. I mean, last year I think they got 2 great loans in, didn't they, in Asensio and Rashford, that helped them kick on. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do some more business in January, because they are in a great position and probably exceeding expectation.
And like you said, they're the kind of team at the moment that anyone would want to join and be part of that progress that Aston Villa are making. They are through then to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Goals from Emi Buendia and Morgan Rodgers. The difference between the two sides today, even though Wilson Odobert did manage to get one back for Tottenham Hotspur. We are going to continue on BBC iPlayer, but that is it from us on BBC One. It has been a Buendia for Villa, but for Spurs, yet again, it's Rodgers and out. Bye-bye.
Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa, neither has lifted this trophy really for far too long. Buendia, big chance, great goal. Thomas Frank's side are behind again. All the pressure's on Tottenham now. Buendia works it to Daniel Marlon. Buendia again, and Rodgers. Things go from bad to worse for in this Tottenham attack. Odobert, exactly what Tottenham needed. Brilliantly off the line. Aston Villa have booked their place in the 4th round of the FA Cup.